Hi, I'm Selah Avery, the Queen of Worship Soul, and I'm on UK Rotation and Urban Influencer. I'm a singer and songwriter out of Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Carrollton, Georgia. Yeah, you'll have to look that up. What drives my passion for music and for what I do? The driving passion for my music would be the passion that I was given to tell a story. It comes from my dad listening to his thousands and thousands of records, being able at a young age to identify with songwriters, with good songwriters from way back in the day. And I got intrigued with the stories. And so my passion turned from just about the music to telling the story. The people that inspire me personally are two people. One is my son. He doesn't give up, and he has an adventurous spirit, and he just likes to have fun. So those are the things that inspire me about him. The second person would be my husband, who is my producer. His name is Sam Peasy. Check him out. And he inspires me because he won't give up as well. His creativity and his ability to draw people in and pretty much read them through his music. Those are the things that inspires me. What does purpose mean to me? Purpose means I see it as if you're walking on a journey and you don't exactly know where you're going, but along the way you're picking up these bits and pieces of these things that that strike a chord in you, if you will. And you carry them along the way on your journey. And then when you reach your destination and you look back and you see all the people who you've helped, or you see all the people who have helped you, you realize through that journey that that was your purpose. And those things that you picked up along the way are the things that more easily define what your purpose is once you get there. What is my guilty pleasure? In music, my guilty pleasure is listening to Nipsey Hussle. I think nowadays the essential platforms that independent artists need are obviously all of our social media platforms. Things like TuneCore and DistroKid and Facebook Live. I mean, this is just amazing for those of us who are independent artists. We can pretty much put on a show everywhere we are, and it can reach everybody all over the world. And I see it as a good thing for independent artists. I think the pandemic for any artist has certainly to an extent become a threat with those of us in the U.S. who can't travel at this time, and with the level of success that I've come across with my brothers and sisters in the UK, not being able to pick up and go to a show there, that becomes a threat to an artist's livelihood. And the ways that we've kind of fixed it is, like I said before, through social media platforms. We've just become live music is necessary, so we've just used that necessity to bring music to people all over the world. So you have to come up with more creative ways to perform. I think it's important for an artist to have endorsements with brands because it's a bigger platform. Say with my song, In My Purse, obviously that would be great if I could be endorsed by some of the brands that I speak about in the song, like Zaf bags and Minku bags. Look them up. They're in Africa. Really nice pieces. But I think it's important for artists to have an open mind. Listen, there are enough companies and brands for everyone to be endorsed. But I think the place that may trip an artist up is not having the image that would want a brand to, endorse you. So we have to be careful of our own brands as artists, especially as independent artists. It's important to have a relationship with other artists, and to be, I think, essentially just to be a good person. And that way, no other artist wants to work with a diva. Nobody wants to do that. So I think relationships, networking is very important. I think endorsements are very important. I define progression as, to me, it's obvious, moving forward. No matter how slow, it's still progression. And I think sometimes as indie artists, when we don't have that big machine behind us, we think we're not moving. But I've seen progression lately here in this last 2 weeks with my album, and I'm very pleased with that progression. I'm very grateful for that progression. It's been a long time coming. And, when you look back at it, you see that it was still moving, whether it was a step a day or half a step a day, or whether it was just inching forward, it was still moving. So I think, we have to be grateful for the small progressions. The pluses and pitfalls of what I do. Let's obviously talk about the pluses first. The pluses are, you put your music out, you live your dream, and people love it. That's a plus. If people love it, then they go buy it. If people go buy it, that is revenue. When you get that revenue, you are living some form of your dream, But the pitfalls can be being caught up in, as a good friend of mine used to say, paralysis of analysis. That's a pitfall. Because you're paralyzed in sometimes overthinking or splitting hairs on the music you should put out. And when the simple answer is just put it out. Let the people decide what they want to listen to, and the rest will work itself out. Planning and preparation are very important, but I'm a procrastinator. And, it is something that I got to work on, but it's very important. It is very important, and I'm doing better. I'm doing much better with planning and preparation, and I have learned within the last several weeks just how important it is. You have to plan, a time to sit and meditate. You have to plan a time for yourself, and then you have to plan a time for promotion and working the system. How do I define prejudice, and has it ever impacted me? Yes. I went to a high school that was predominantly white, and I witnessed a cross that had been burned in our schoolyard. So that affected me, but the way that my family raised me is sometimes you just feel sorry for those people, and you pray for them and you move on. And that's what I do. And yes, I think artists should be politically active. I think they should use their platform because to whom much is given, much is required, right? So we're on this platform, and there are people looking at us and watching us and listening to us at every turn, And so it's something that you should not take lightly. We've all seen movies where the bad guy is trying to get this thing from the good guys. And there's always the line of, if this gets into the wrong hands, it could destroy the world, that type of thing. So I think with the platform, it's the exact same thing. I think if you, at the right times, during the right times, because there is a time and a place for everything. You don't always have to be, political and always have to be on a soapbox. But I think that in the state that we're in this world right now, everyone who has a platform where someone is looking at them, they should be saying something positive. And we should look at it as, if you're on a platform, then you're a driver of a bus, and you have all these people on this bus that's riding with you. If you drive off the cliff, guess what? Yeah, all those people are going with you. So we have to not take that lightly. I define professionalism by, being a person of your word, doing what you say you're going to do. Or if you say you're not going to do something, then don't go back on your word and do it. Let your no be no and let your yes be yes. And then when you get to where you have to do the thing, whether you don't want to do it or not, even if you said yes, doing it as if you're, I would say, doing it for God, put your best foot forward in everything that you do. And that's what, being professional means: being on time, being courteous, being kind, working your craft, and either being the first to do something or being the best at doing something.